So we almost talked about a lot of things happening. Welcome back to US Quidditch Cup. We are here on Field 2. We are coming off of a match between the Lost Boys and Ohio Apollos, in which the Lost Boys won 180-50. And now we have two teams also playing their first game of the day. Pegasus out of the Southwest in green to your left on the screen, and DCQC to the right in black and pink. And my name is Clay Dockery. I will be your play-by-play person. And
nice to meet you. I'm Chris Kang. I will be just a color commentator, hopefully filling in the gaps and any other information we see out here.
I wanted to note that I do not have a full roster for Pegasus, so I will be using a lot of numbers, and I will be using they, them for all players on the Pegasus roster. So as you know that going in, we're going to try to keep to that system for anybody that we don't know their preferred pronouns. We do have a roster for DCQC, so as soon as we can see their numbers, we will give you the starting lineups. On the DCQC lineup, we have number 21 Chaser, Julia Rankin. And number 11 at Chaser, that is Ben Mertens, who is also the head coach of the team. And the third Chaser over to the right is number 99, Thomas Jaws Jaworski.
23.
Keeper is number 23, Riley Stars, who also plays for MLQ. Admiral's team, as many of these DCQC rosters do. And at beaters for the DCQC team, we have number 6, Bernie Burgess. And I think that is Katrina Hicks, but let's get them to turn around and just be sure. Whereas over here on the Pegasus side of things, we have at Chaser number 41, not on my makeshift roster. At Beater number 80, Ryan Naraki, who is the captain and coach of the team. At Keeper, we have number 57.
Also not listed.
And the other two Chasers on the Pegasus roster right now are number 11. That is Katrina Hicks as the second beater on the DCQC side.
Looks like we're about ready to start the game here. And the weather has just cleared up for us, so hopefully we can keep that drizzle away for the rest of the game.
All right, I will get you the rest of the roster for the Pegasus team that's out there. Looks like number 15 is the second beater. So we have number 80, Ryan Naraki, and number 15, who is Kaylee McBride. All right, we are into brooms down. The head referee for this match is Kim Couch, and the assistant referees are a Lost Boys crew. All right, there is brooms up. We have the Pegasus lineup picked the bludgers, so they have bludgers, and the DCQC team has the quaffle. It is Ryan Stars who passes it off to
Beater exchange there, midfield. Both beaters back to
Ben Mertens. Mertens behind, back to Stars, back to Mertens. There's a bludger in the middle of the field. Hicks is clear on the shot. It looks like Riley is able to avoid the restrictor line, barely there.
And it looks like after those exchanges, Pegasus is able to come away with bludger control.
Mertens makes a nice little pass, and it's bounced out. Back to Mertens. And there is a stoppage of play already. The quaffle is coming back. cannot tell what has happened, but the referees are having a little bit of a conversation. All right, so the chasers for Pegasus are number 41, number 11, and number 1. And I will get you names if we get a chance. The beaters are number 80, which is Noraki, and number 15, which is McBride, and number 57 is Innit Keeper. Referee conversation has ended, and it looks like Couch is reaching for cards. Moving players around. Are both beaters, are Brandon Burgess and Ryan Naraki both going to the box?
Looks like it's going to be a double beater exclusion, possibly some misconduct or a little too rough play in it beating. You know.
That looks like a blue card on both of them. Blue card. All right. Well, we now have one beater in play on each team. Mertens does have the quaffle here on the near side of the field. DCQC is rolling from right to left on your screen. Pegasus is going from left to right. There is a bludger turnover. McBride is going to have it right underneath the hoops. The other bludger is back in the back corner of the field. All right. They've remounted and play has restarted. Over to number 21, makes a drive, passes into the back to number 99. Thomas Jaworski.
Oh, and it will be blocked.
It gets blocked, and that is a fast break, but number 1 stops in the middle of the field, passes off to Anderson, number 41.
Riley Stars attempting a wrap there.
That gets out, and Anderson is able to put it home to put Pegasus on the board first. 10-0, Pegasus with the lead. All right, now that gets DCQC's Burgess back out of the box. They're able to drive down the field. Stars over to 99. That is a good block by 57, who then jumps over the bludger. Burgess is trying to clear things out underneath the hoop. Stars passes over to the back corner. Julia Rankin in the back corner brings the ball all the way back up towards the midfield line and passes back to Stars in the corner. All right, so DCQC is just using the fact that they've got bludger control. Looks like the penalty on Naraki should end. And yeah, he's back in, or both bludgers are back in the game now. And that is a block by Anderson. Anderson all over the field. Pass over to 57 on the far side. 57 we don't have the name for, unfortunately, and there is no name on their jersey.
Naraki escorting our keeper up here with the beat. Oh, good beat from Naraki.
Good beat, and then that pass is in, and despite the net contact, number 1 is able to drive it home. That is Vallejo. Yeah, 1. All right, so now it is 20-0, Pegasus up. DCQC looking to make something happen. Riley Stars talking to his chasers, trying to get them into position. Bernie Burgess coming up with the quaffle, with the bludger, leading the quaffle down. Pegasus has control. Mertens passes around on the far side to Stars, back over to this side, back to Stars in the middle. There's a beater exchange in the middle. Naraki wins. Mertens gets the ball out to Rankin. He passes all the way back across to Jaworski. but Jaworski is stripped.
Stripped by number
Vallejo, number 1, who drives through
All
a
the
bunch
way.
of contact and a jersey pull to drive it home and the 30-0 lead. I can see Couch is talking about the contact with Vallejo. He's called it off in this case, but has spoken to the DCQC player about it. Stout bludgers in the center. This bludger core goes way back in Texas with Naraki and McBride. Stars takes the shot and
Incredible
hits
shot.
it.
Wow.
That's what DCQC needs, for things like that to keep falling.
Looks like Pegasus coming down with a power play.
That's a lot of
Attempt
back contact
and
over the top of the head, and
gonna be
that's
a goal.
57 with the assist to Vallejo with another goal.
We're seeing a lot of penalties, especially right before goals, but a lot of it's being negated just simply because otherwise if we call the fouls on that, then they're not going to get the goals.
That was real sloppy play by DCQC, losing the quaffle right in front of their hoops and then it being driven home for another goal and a 50-10 lead by Pegasus. If DCQC can't get their stuff together, this is going to get out of control on them. They need to calm down. They've got bludger control now. What do you think they should do on this drive to actually be able to break through this stout defense?
They need to start using their advantage with bludgers. As you can see here, Pegasus only has 1 and they're running a tight zone defense here. So by spreading out with those 2 bludgers and pinching in on the beater, DCQC has a lot of physical players. They're fast, they can get in there and they can make some plays once they get rid of that beater. And we see that happen right there.
Yeah, Ben Phillips is able to get the ball over the top to number 1, Patrick Rarden, longtime Maryland player, very physical presence, drives it home on the short hoop. Now, that exchange did cost the DCQC team bludger control, though. That is a pass all the way back up to the center to number 41, who gets it off to 57. Tries to make a move on Rarden, makes a move on Rarden, gets it over the back.
They found the chaser behind the hoops. Picture perfect play there.
That is number 51,
And it
Mallory,
looks like
who gets it.
DCQC, and they had an attempt on a power play there, on a counterattack, just before it happens.
Yep.
Attempt here.
Yeah, they probably needed to pass that out a little sooner and slow down because
agree.
the bludgers were back for Pegasus, and Pegasus with bludger is not something you want to drive on.
I agree. Having that awareness of who has bludgers and just where they are in the field. I mean, as we can see here.
That is through. That was number
Incredible
23
shot,
with a
Maz.
great shot straight through the center hoop. That's Sam Reagan. And DCQC, in a probably very strong move, now that it's 70-20 already, has taken the timeout.
So what do you think we need to see here for DCQC to start getting back in this game and scoring more goals?
So they are definitely at a disadvantage with bludgers, and so they have to start moving more strategically.
Absolutely.
They are going to need to make their drives count, and so they've got to do a couple more passes on any drives down, try to get into the zone where the bludger is not. If you've got McBride and Naraki camped out in front of the fields, you're going to have to sacrifice a player, get something knocked out, and then take your drive. But they can't just try to drive straight through them like they have been.
And they have excellent ball movement too. So I mean, getting the ball around, spreading out that defense, and finding a gap shouldn't be a problem for them. It's just coming down to a lot of these plays having bludger control or not having bludger control.
And this is a very experienced team. A lot of time together, a lot of time years together with a core of an Admirals roster, years together as DCQC. They need to use that to their advantage. Know where they're going to be on the field, make cuts, make splits.
Absolutely.
That the other team can't anticipate. They're not going to out-physical this Pegasus team. They're going to have to outthink them.
I mean, that just shows on these drives we see from Pegasus running it straight to the hoops, even with a lot of back contact, neck contact, jersey contact, etc. And they're still able to make the plays count even through the contact. So we're going to have to start seeing a lot more strategic beats, especially on defense, because they're not going to be able to run them down or stop them with the chaser play so far.
We have number 12, Melina, in at beater for Pegasus now. So Naraki is off the pitch. Maybe this will be a chance for DCQC to make something happen. But this Pegasus roster is stacked with beaters all the way through.
And it looks like Pegasus has made a beater substitution for Tino Bordone, alma mater from the University of Mary Washington.
All right, so this is also a new chaser line for DCQC. Number 8 is at the top of the key. That is Ian Meyer, who is also really, really well-established player in the Mid-Atlantic. Rarden tries to take a couple steps, does indeed pass a couple extra times. The pass back to Rarden. Oh, but Rarden is...
And just short. 2 bludgers missing him.
Looks like they must have both missed him, but he's taken down. Whereas number 23 is then able to pick up the loose quaffle in the middle of the field, and nobody's in front of him.
And Sam Reagan with a goal for Pegasus.
That is the second straight goal for Reagan, basically dominating the middle of the field since Reagan came in. It is now 80-20, Pegasus in the lead.
Pegasus is doing an excellent job of finding these gaps in the beater play, coming from the confusion and just the havoc that is these bludger exchanges, finding the openings and then making strong counterattack moves towards the hoops.
Stoppage of play due to the beater game. Looks like a defective bludger. Katrina Hicks and Burgess are taking this moment to speak about their plan. They need to get bludger control back and then to kind of take a step back and hold on to it. It's their one time with bludger control in this game. They immediately exchange it for a goal. I think they might have been better off holding on. Ian Meyer looking for an opening. That stout zone defense covers the entire hoop area. Phillips, number 32, passes back to Meyer. Hicks has cleared him. Oh, he's taken down after the shot. Rarden gets the ball and...
Excellent ball movement, but just wrong position. She didn't have a shot, or they didn't have a shot on the hoops at that angle. But an excellent attempt by, number 16. I don't have it on sheet.
Okay, we don't have a 69 on our roster, so we'll have to take a look later to see. All right, number 21, Nguyen passes it back off to Reagan. Reagan takes a shot over the top. This one does not go in, which is what DCQC needed. Goes all the way out of bounds on the far side of the field. With our beautiful mountain backdrop, and now that the sun has come out, this should be a nice day for Quidditch the rest of the way.
DCQC here really needs to focus on gaining bludger control here. It seems like a lot of their exchanges, especially on defense, are just the lack of bludgers and their single beater being pinched in and pressured. And I mean, obviously they're at a disadvantage here.
That is a pass all the way into the back around. Nice passing. Gets it back up to Phillips at the top. Riley Stars is looking for an opening. Rarden is beat and has to go back to his hoops. They should really hold on to this. There is a beat on number 32, so Stars is basically by himself. It looks like we got 69 in the back corner.
In the backfield, looks like we...
And back to Stars at the very back of the hoops. Phillips is able to get back in. Rarden is able to get back in. This is exactly what DCQC needs to do. And they passed it 6 times to get to number 69, who throws it home for a goal. DCQC needs to keep on playing that way. It is now 80-30.
Meanwhile, on their home turf, we see they were able to gain bludger control. Let's see if they can keep it for this possession and see if that improves their defense any. And it looks like a bludger exchange, but they're able to come out of it with both
That
bludgers.
is finally a tackle. 21 goes down, and 21 is beat. But there is a scrum behind the hoops that is going to be probably over the neck or back contact.
I'd say a yellow card for back contact, or maybe even contacting a player.
Oh,
not in
no,
their position.
it is not. Okay. It is waved off by Kim Couch. That was a lot of contact. But we're going to let him play, which is fine with me.
Very physical game we're seeing, especially from Pegasus, coming out with strong tackles, a lot of pressure on chasers, just making it difficult for DCQC to keep them at a distance that's far enough. And we can see here also that Pegasus has some incredible distance shots.
Julia Rankin is back in for DCQC. That shot by Phillips is knocked down, and now it is another fast break opportunity. No, they're going to slow it down. Pegasus taking a moment to set things up, whereas the beaters are having a scrum underneath the hoops. Mallory over the top, gets it.
And it looks like there's going to be a call on the play, maybe some confusion about beat calls, especially in that exchange we saw there with the tackle, as well as what seemed like two exchanges. It could negate the goal here, being that got in the way.
It is 90-30 if the goal stands. If the goal is wiped off due to whatever was going on in the beater game, we will let you know. Referees having a big conversation. This Lost Boys crew, very experienced. Chris Cito, Ryan Smythe, lots of experience in Quidditch, lots of experience in the beater game, know what's going on. Kim Couch, at least 8 years as head referee. We should be able to clear this up pretty quickly. And we come all the way back over to the other side of the field.
And it looks like it's going to be a card here.
Card on Pegasus beater number 9. It is another blue. Interacting after beat.
And that looks like that's also going to negate the goal as well. Being that directly affected the play and DCQC's ability to defend their hoops.
They're still having the conversation, so we will let you know as soon as we know. As it is, I feel like DCQC has done a pretty good job of settling things down in the last couple minutes. What do you see as their best option going forward to kind of cut more into this 6-goal lead?
First of all, they need to keep bludger control. I think that's something that they've been struggling with, and their defense would greatly improve with that as well. It seems like their ball movement is incredibly strong on offense, almost to the point where I would say that having the beaters there is just an extra. Because there have been exchanges and plays we've seen that DCQC is able to score when their beaters aren't involved in the play, just based on finding that extra chaser behind the hoops.
And the goal has officially been invalidated. It is 80-30.
I'm not sure how much time's left, but moving into Snitch on pitch, what do we need to see from DCQC to get them back in this game?
DCQC has to hold on to these bludgers.
Absolutely.
DCQC gets these bludgers back into the hands of Pegasus for Snitch on pitch. This game is over.
But credit to Pegasus's beaters. They're able to keep bludger control as well as take it away from DCQC.
Riley Stars all the way down, straight through with 2 beaters in front of him, knocks it right in for that 80-40.
I'm not sure if we're...
Now Pegasus number 57 trying to go straight through Stars, and they get the goal. Another goal for number 57 on Pegasus. And
and that looks like there's going to be a call in midfield, I believe contacting 2 bludgers at once. Impressive catch, mind you, but being that he was already holding a bludger, that's going to be...
Okay, they're stopping play with the craziness going on out there. Hopefully we will get caught up. It definitely Ultimately should be a double bludger turnover. It is now 90-40. If what DCQC does not want is exchanges like that, where they get a fast break and they get immediately broken back on. They can't compete in the open field without bludgers out there.
I agree. Pegasus is doing a great job of keeping the pace on their offense very quick and slowing down DCQC enough to let their beaters get in there, to get the steals, to get tackles. But what we need to see here from a team like DCQC, where their ball movement is very precise, is they need to slow it down, get bludger control, and really pull out Pegasus defense from away from that hoops, because that tight zone defense is really just locked down in terms of not letting them score.
DCQC has nothing as far as bludgers because it was put all the way in the far side of the field. That shot is no good. I don't know how that did not go in.
It looks like it just went just a little bit low of the hoops. We're having more beater exchanges, and that's a catch from 83 on DCQC, which will be Keegan Remy Miller.
57, Keegan Remy Miller, who was our co-commentator for the first game. Number 20 passes it out. Number 57 has a lot of contact around his neck.
And it looks like there were a few calls on that. We have some refs on the side disagreeing with the play, but head ref here is going to call that as a goal.
It is now 100-40, Pegasus ahead. I definitely thought there was going to be some contact called that time. That was a lot of contact to wave off. But there they are. I saw the official call on the wave off on the contact just then. So they did see it and did decide that it was incidental. Stars gets it to Rankin in the back corner. Rankin goes back to Stars at the top of the key. And the beat is missed. Gives it to Mertens. Back to Stars. Nice to number 27 in the back corner.
And it looks like we have a wrap.
That's Ali Iannucci, who is getting driven out of bounds. Driven completely out of bounds by Craig Garrison is Ali Iannucci.
That will be a turnover. The ball will be in possession for Pegasus.
Yep, there it is. There's the switch. Garrison gets the ball. I thought that Craig was passing it to Iannucci for a second there. Wouldn't put it past Craig Garrison to do something like that.
We're seeing here DCQC with bludger control. Let's see if they can keep with this play.
All right.
Forward.
Number 57 passes back up to Craig at the top. Back to 57. Craig is beat. 57 is beat, but he gets it off to Mangiano, who takes the reset, puts it back to Craig at the hoops. All of the Pegasus chasers and keepers are on their side of the field, just really taking their time, thinking this through as they try to attack this two bludger defense on DCQC. We have to be closing in on the 20-minute mark.
Absolutely. Also, note that this is one of the first times in the game I think we've seen Pegasus have to slow down their offense to this pace, just due to DCQC.
57 is able to go through three of the DCQC players and knock it home for another goal. 11-4. And there is another stoppage. Is it another bludger turnover? Oh, the bludger is defective and has been taken out of the game.
The cold and the slightly damp field could have something to do with this. The bludgers being pumped up to what they normally are. People who have played this game know that they, the qualified bludgers all get slippery. Becomes difficult to throw, catch, etc. Looks like they're asking them to be deflated slightly.
That's funny. In this weather, you would think that they would have already been deflated. All right, so both of the DCQC bludgers are coming up on offense. Basically, DCQC needs to start really attacking this zone defense from Pegasus if they want to get back into the game. 7 goals is not impossible, but we're closing in on 20 minutes, and once that 20-minute mark hits and the set score is set, then we have a different game.
And it looks like a miss from DCQC's beater, attempting a wrap there.
Yeah, Bernie Burgess misses the beat going over the top. Ali Anucci in the back corner, number 94 on DCQC.
Working in what seems like a kite formation, and it's going to be called no good and out of the back.
Yeah, out of bounds at the back. Number 83 on Pegasus, who is Hallie Rutledge, has picked up the quaffle and handed it off to Craig Garrison and now got out of the game. Number 17 comes in for Rutledge. Astorga, number 27, is right in front of us on this side of the field. Number 21, Mondujano in the center. Back to Craig. Craig is beat, but he gets the ball out, and 27 is able to take it in the back corner, but is taken down with a nice wrap.
Able to get the ball out, and we'll see here.
DCQC
power
tries,
play
but
and
is
beat
beat
before.
from behind.
Oh, we'll see here. Doesn't seem to be a call on that.
Pegasus begging for a call, but is not getting one. Yeah, that's Ingwin, number 21, not Mandujano.
Great beat there.
Hayworth and Naraki in at beaters for Pegasus. They are dominating still. Craig Garrison takes a teardrop shot that falls through the center hoop. If you had money on Craig Garrison not getting a goal, you have lost it, unfortunately.
And you can hear from both benches yelling to their teams, telling the beaters to work together. We are seeing a strange amount of separation very far, which makes it really easy to target one beater or the other rather than working together. Even the distance you see with DCQC's beaters now, if one of them loses a bludger in exchange, there's not much they can do about it to keep bludger control back again.
Yeah, there's no way to clean up for this. You got a lot of coverage of the field, but that shot being missed is not good, and it's covered up by number 17 on Pegasus. All right, there is another call in the back corner. They're having a lot of chirpiness. If I were one of the refs, I would tell the players they need to stop talking because they're talking too much.
Absolutely, and we can see things getting out of hand. You know, emotions start getting ugly at this point, and you know, we like to keep it clean, fun, and safe at all times. Tempers on the field, you know, not the greatest thing to see, but they're understandable. Looks like they're arguing to see if it was a call of being beat before. To me, it looks like the goals or the call is going to stand for now. Yep.
So number 69 is Carly Kleppen. I just heard them say her name.
And there's going to be a bludger exchange there. Let's see if that opens it up for Pegasus towards the hoops.
Another nice pass out, back and forth.
And we're seeing some contact.
Reagan is in the center of the field looking for someone to make a cut towards the hoops. Passes a little bit back.
I will say I have to give it to DCQC's beaters in terms of knocking out the extra chasers here and limiting Pegasus's options on offense. You can see on that last play, almost the entire team of chasers was back to hoops on that, and you know, the less options they have, the harder it is to score a goal.
That is a little. The shot is blocked by Mertens. That was a great move around the defender by Reagan, but Mertens is able to stop the shot from going in.
And it looks like the rain's coming in again, so we'll see if that affects the clip.
Yeah, it is now once again miserable looking out here on this field. Everything is slippery. Tempers are a little bit high. Again, DCQC's already taken their timeout, so they can't take another one. But they're going to need to use the 20-minute break to really calm themselves down and get themselves ready to make a nice showing for the rest of this game.
I agree. They need to start controlling the pace of this game. So far, it's been set by Pegasus, especially with their fast counterattacks. Just slowing it down, taking a breath, and things like missed passes, opportunities, keeping bludgers. All these things end up adding up.
Yep.
And I believe that's our 20-minute mark.
Yes, that is the 20-minute mark. Our 20-minute snitch break is brought to you by VC Ultimate, our sponsors who have a lot of great merchandise on sale both here at the facility and online. So go to VCUltimate.com and check out all of those great merchandising needs. Lots of US Quidditch Cup things that are for sale. Specifically, this mountain environment is a great kind of branding opportunity and a great chance for you to support both our sponsors and Quidditch. All right, so we're in this 20-minute break.
All right, and it looks like our snitch day is Justin.
Yep, Justin Barnard.
Justin Barnard. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Justin Barnard, familiar face out here in terms of volunteering to be a snitch. I know in his personal life, he does jiu-jitsu, and I think you can see it in his technique. Incredibly difficult snitch to catch, very fast hands, clean technique. So we'll see if either of these seekers can catch him. What would you like to see from these two teams, especially in relation to how much emphasis we're putting on the snitch versus just regular quaffle play?
So I think that in order to get back in this, DCQC has to catch the snitch.
Absolutely.
So I think they're going to need to put their bludgers on the snitch, see if they can make it happen. Barnard is hard to catch, so if it doesn't happen and they start to fall another goal or two behind, they're going to have to pull it back. But they need that 30-point bounce.
Absolutely, making it 12-7 versus 15-4. That's a huge difference in score, and even just for the energy of these two teams, we can kind of tell the DCQC might not have as much energy out here, especially with the weather being what it is, and just the way this game's gone so far. With their calls, they feel they've been cheated a little bit.
So for those of you who don't know, we are at the 20-minute break, and what happens now is that there is a set score made. That set score is 70 points above the leading team's score. Pegasus had 120, so the set score is 190. The first team to hit 190 will win this game. The snitch counts as 35 points, and any other goal is 1 point. It is now pouring out here. So does that change anything about what DCQC needs to do?
In terms of their play, we've seen from DCQC a lot of their play involves ball movement. That being said, with the rain coming down, it's going to be slippery, so movement in general is going to be a little bit more difficult. The quaffle gets extremely slippery in the rain,
Yes.
So we're going to need to see just fundamentals are going to come in play here. Two-hand catches, clean passes, and just simple mistakes like that, I think, really can help DCQC adjust their gameplay here, especially in the rain.
Yes, and DCQC has just lost possession on the last drive because of the beginning of this rain. Julia Rankin slipped in the back of the field as she was trying to get the quaffle. It went out of bounds because of that slip. It's going to be even more of that out there as things are really pouring at the moment. It is Pegasus with the quaffle at the far end left side of your screen. In the center of your screen, Justin Barnard will have Seekers number 41 for Pegasus.
And we do not have that listed. I apologize for that. And we have yet to see who's the Seeker for DCQC.
McBride trying to keep the bludger warm. Oh.
Got them. Sorry about that. We have some blowing rain here.
Yes, rain is blowing in on us in our tent. Oh, that was almost a catch by 41, which is Anderson. Anderson, number 41 on Pegasus, who had a couple of the goals early in the game. Naraki, the bludgers for Pegasus are staying in the quaffle game, which makes sense for them, and that's also a Southwest staple. That is probably a drop due to the rain by number 57, but gets it out to number 7, and that is not a, sounds like that whistle was not on our field.
We can see Pegasus, 41, the
number 17 is able to get a goal for Pegasus. Again, if Pegasus can get 6 more goals, they do not need the snitch.
And I mean, I think that shows in their gameplay here. You see every time we have DCQC's Seeker on the pitch, not being knocked out by a bludger here, you can see 41 just blocking. I think they know that they have the advantage in the quaffle game, and they're trying to take advantage of that, especially knowing that this snitch is incredibly
that
difficult.
exchange does get bludger control for DCQC, and they take the quaffle behind the hoops. Rarden is able to get it in, so it is now 130 to 50. Pegasus still very much in the lead. They're just getting poured on out here. That shot is in on the medium-sized hoop.
Would you like to move the table back like a foot or two? Because it's blowing this way.
Yeah, let's try it. Hold on for one moment. We're going to try to get away from the rain for a second. That was a great attempt by number 51, who gets knocked down, but has had 2 pretty good looks at the snitch. Still 140 to 40.
And looks like a scrum towards Pegasus's hoops. Looks like the ball in possession of, I can't tell if that...
Ball is at the bottom of a pile,
I believe Pegasus,
to the far left. Yes, that is a Pegasus chaser at the bottom of that pile. It's Reagan, who passes it out to 57, who's just looking to get another goal on this very, very light center of the field.
And the pass, incredible pass, and...
that pass almost fell in for number 7.
DCQC here, maybe looking to make a power play.
Stars. Oh, the pass hits the pole and is not able to be converted by Patrick Rarden, giving Pegasus back the quaffle.
And part of this is what we're seeing here, I think, is the weather, and just, you know, like we said earlier, just the weird little imprecisions that the weather can do here. Slippery quaffle. We're seeing these slight misses, dropped passes, and you know, it's whatever team can take advantage of them.
That is Pegasus player taken down by Rarden on the far side of the field, but there is going to be a penalty. Chris Cito has their hand up. And Pegasus number 57 comes out and is able to knock it through the short
through
hoop.
the contact.
So we're going to have a stoppage of play, but I think that penalty is on DCQC. Rarden will be sure in a second. Craig Garrison and Seeker trying to catch Justin Barnard with a bludger on guard.
I'd like to give credit to both these teams for being good sports about the weather and playing through it. It's about 45 to 50 degrees out here, pouring rain, and we see that right there, the attitude from our snitch, Justin Barnard, just keeping energy up and playing through it.
Yeah, now this type of weather is great for a snitch, especially a physical
And it's
snitch.
begun to hail here.
Yes. Well, if we have lightning, we will stop play. Otherwise, we will not. So we're just going to keep going unless we hear some thunder out there. All right, DCQC comes out of this with the quaffle. It is 150 to 50. Pass, double pass, back to Stars, looking to pick it up.
And they're able to find their female chaser on the far hoop there. I'm sorry, I can't get a number for you. At 69, I believe. Great pass, great execution.
And that is Carly Kleppen, number 60. Oh. Number 1 is jumped. Number 69 jumps onto the back of number 1.
And that I'm almost sure is going to be a call for back contact there. We'll see what results out of this, but if I were a betting man, it would be a yellow card on DCQC's keeper here. We'll see. Soon we'll have a keeper substitution if that's the case.
Yeah, that's number 69.
Oh, I apologize, not on the keeper.
Yeah.
Number 69, which was
Carly Kleppen.
Carly Kleppen.
Yeah, that was pretty clear, especially when she left her feet. All right. Number 1 takes a look all the way across the field. That's Villegas, I think. Vallejo.
And it looks like, I'm not sure if that was meant to be a pass or a shot, but it went in on the far side hoop there.
Yep, that is another goal for Vallejo. Had several earlier in the game. And that makes it 160-60. 3 goals away, or the snitch catch. Either one of those things. Oh, that, as the hoop was falling down, that quaffle almost went through it. But it was kept out by the hands of fate, which are not on DCQC's side. Patrick Garden unable to finish. Number 20, just looking for that little hole behind the hoops to number 83. Vallejo has the quaffle again, makes 2 moves, trying to get around Stars, makes a pass towards the middle, hits a DCQC player, and is covered up. Was covered up by Carly Kleppen, but then number 20 pulls it out.
And it looks like we have possibly a catch or
No, it looks like it fell off in the rain.
Okay.
But there was a little bit of extracurricular content over here by Riley Stars.
It looks like there's the coach coming up here.
Yeah, Pegasus coach is unhappy about something.
We'll see what this is about here.
Referees are once again having a little conversation. Looks like 20 is taking their self to the box. It is a blue card on number 20.
We'll see what that's for. Once again, consulting with the ARs here. We'll see.
It is really hailing now. These are significant size. They're not big by any means, but they are legitimate hailstones falling on us. DCQC almost gets the snitch. Patrick Harden takes a drive in and then thinks better of it, pulls back, pushes over to Stars. Back to Rarden, who is hit from behind by Naraki, who is all over the field.
Looks like we're going to have a power play to the hoops, and uncontested, that will be a goal from Pegasus.
Vallejo with another goal. It is now 170-60. 2 goals away from ending the game. Again, a snitch catch or 2 goals will end the game in Pegasus' favor. Number 16 makes a nice move on number 63, but is unable to get through the beat. 41 trying to make another attempt to catch. Nice movement on the backside.
That
gets a goal for DCQC. That is Ali Iannucci with the goal. $170-70. Burgess makes a nice
beat attempt
long
there.
Beat attempt.
That's going to be
and then the exchange gets Naraki out of the play, which they definitely need. Oh, good. The rain was quickly clearing up. It's still a disaster out there, but at least we're no longer being pelted by hail.
I don't know if you guys can see on camera out there, but next time a ball rolls across the pitch, you can see the water splashing up from the grass. It's
little fingertip roll by number 20 makes it a goal circumstance. The last goal, 1 more goal for Pegasus, and they will pull this out. DCQC just needs to hold everything from happening, which is very difficult. That pass is all the way into the back corner, turned over to Pegasus, who are now setting up for their final drive. If they can get it here, they'll knock it in. It looks as though there is going to be a potential penalty on DCQC, so everything is stopped. The Snitch referee had called a delayed penalty.
We'll see at this point, Pegasus being 1 point away from set score. If DCQC will change their strategy at all, being that the standings for nationals, I'm not sure if they're the same for college as they are for club teams. But in the event of a tie, things like goals scored on, goals scored, and we'll see if in this last little bit of the game they try to pad their stats at all, or we'll see if they continue with the same strategy.
So DCQC and Pegasus are both in pool V in the club division. So the other teams in this one are Twin Cities, Vegas Invaders, and so it's one of the 4 team pools: DCQC, Twin Cities, Pegasus, and Invaders. They just need to get 2 wins in order to move on to bracket play. So it looks like DCQC won't pick it up in this one. How do you think of their chances against Twin Cities or Vegas?
We'll have to see. I mean, all of these teams are incredibly physical and are on a high level. We'll see in this game actually here, in this last little bit, there was a blue card called on DCQC beater. Not sure what for. We're seeing a lot of contact. We're going forward. Both of these teams in their pool play, both are very deep benches, so we'll see if Pegasus can keep this pace with other teams and continue to break down their defense. They're going to do incredibly, and we'll see if DCQC can improve their bludger control, as well as them setting the pace for the game.
Nice pass over the top to Rankin, who puts it in. That is a nice ending to this game from DCQC, putting some goals on the board, making the final score most likely seem a lot closer than it would have been earlier. Nice stops a couple times down. This time it does not happen, though. Vallejo drives it home and slams it all the way off the pitch for a 190.
Remains uncaught.
190 to 80. No snitch catch in either game that we have seen so far today on this field. And that is the end. It is official. Pegasus pulls this one off to go